Tonight, spring is here, and Oswego's Rudys Lakeside Drive-In is making its return.
Find out how children ages 5 and under could soon see the protection from COVID-19 their parents have been longing for.
And why Governor Kathy Hochul is lighting New York landmarks in solidarity for Ukraine.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Scott Brubaker.
And I'm Casey Morris.
As the Russian invasion of Ukraine hits the 1-month mark, Governor Kathy Hochul has announced that New York State landmarks will be lit blue and yellow tonight as a symbol of solidarity for the people of Ukraine. In addition, Hochul announced that the Ukraine flag would be flown at several government buildings, including the Capitol.
Earlier today, the governor launched a new website with resources to help Ukrainian people and their friends and allies here in New York. Governor Hochul says that New York will continue to stand with the people of Ukraine. New York State is currently the home to the largest Ukrainian population in the United States. All eyes are on Brussels as President Joe Biden sends a firm message to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Isabel Rosales reports.
Standing up to Russia.
NATO has never been more united than it is today.
At NATO headquarters, high-stakes emergency summits. World leaders unveiling the next phase to hit back at Moscow.
Putin is getting exactly the opposite what he intended to have as a consequence of going into Ukraine.
Fresh sanctions are on the way as world leaders aim to tighten the economic noose on the Kremlin. Allies sending Ukraine new military assistance. And on Europe's eastern flank, NATO bolstering its own defense.
No matter how this war ends, the security environment here in Europe has changed.
But Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is pleading for more.
I just want you to know that the alliance can save Ukrainian lives from Russia's strikes.
On the front lines, rubble and human devastation. Widespread destruction and deserted streets in the once thriving port city of Mariupol. A teen witnessing the death of his mother.
I just remember, I woke up in road, I see the broken car, and I see, my mother going in fire.
A month into the invasion, Ukrainian troops counterattacking. A U.S. official says the Ukrainians successfully pushed back Russian troops outside Kyiv. The Ukrainian Navy says it has destroyed a Russian warship. And in Russian-occupied Kherson, a Ukrainian flag draped over City Hall, a symbol of hope and defiance. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
NATO has reported that up to 40,000 Russian troops have been killed, wounded, captured, or missing since the invasion of Ukraine began.
The doctor leading the Pfizer vaccine trial at Upstate University Hospital in Syracuse says the vaccine may become available for children under the age of 5 by April 5th. Dr. Joseph Domachowski, a vaccine researcher at Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital, encourages every parent to look at the data themselves to see firsthand how safe and effective the vaccine is for this younger group of children. He also says this could be a game changer for schools in the fall.
Governor Kathy Hochul's $216 billion proposed budget is currently under legislative review, and Senate is planning to vote to enact it in the coming week. $12.5 billion is set to go to social welfare organizations, but the Office of Children and Family Services is looking at a $1.2 billion cut in funding this budget cycle. Negotiation of the budget is currently happening and is due April 1st.
The Pledge of Allegiance is recited in schools all over the country, but as Will Keneally reports, one county supervisor wants that to stop.
Just like elementary school,
I wonder if you all might join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
the Pledge of Allegiance starts Dane County board meetings. It's even on the agenda. But at least one Dane County supervisor wants to scratch it from those agendas for good.
It's important for us to think about why we're doing things in our meetings the way we are.
Supervisor Heidi Wegleitner
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Introduced a resolution to do away with the pledge at the beginning of each meeting. She says it's part of a push to make county board meetings more accessible.
is there unity if not all of us feel comfortable participating, if not all of our visitors or public commenters want to participate?
Her push was met with sharp criticism from another supervisor, Jeff Wigand.
I was disappointed to see the proposal.
It's not just the pledge proposal that has Wigand upset. The beginnings of county board meetings also include a section for prayer or an inspirational message. Wegleitner's proposal would narrow that to just an inspirational message.
By taking it out of the equation and taking away that option, we are actually, creating a more divisive environment.
Wegleitner says she doesn't want to discourage people's free exercise of religion.
When people are associating the pledge with being a Christian nation, like that to me really says something about why it is that people hold on to that.
The proposal to drop the pledge will ultimately be up to the new full county board that will be seated after the April 5th election.
The iconic Rudys Restaurant is making its return later this month and is getting ready to celebrate its 75th +1 anniversary. The restaurant, located right off of the SUNY Oswego campus, has been under extended health and safety measures for the past 2 years due to the pandemic. Owner Jason Livesey says the restaurant plans to celebrate its anniversary this year with fireworks over the lake.
The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has released a new flood mapping tool to help assist flood-prone communities. The tool is set to help local officials prepare for high water events fueled by climate change along Lake Ontario, including here in Oswego County. Homeland Security officials say that flooding is the #1 natural threat facing New Yorkers. And coming up, seats catch fire at the Denver Broncos stadium.
And President Biden is reshaping the U.S. asylum system.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Kanaya Mabry.
Our weather headlines for the week: we will see cold temperatures returning to Oswego, also some spotty showers over the weekend, and possible snow incoming. More of my weather forecast after the break.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union Building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Good evening. I am your Storm Team 10 meteorologist, Kanaya Mabry, and as you can see, the spring weather is disappearing as fast as it came. We will see colder weather returning. There are some chances of showers over the weekend, and we can see a possible 4 inches of snow on Sunday. For the radar, we see the low pressure system moving out, and as it continues to move upward, that is where the spotty showers will be coming from over the weekend. And as you can see up in the Tug Hill area, there is chances of rain and snow. And then over here in Rochester and Geneseo counties, there is also some spotting for showers. Tonight's forecast, there is going to be rain. It's going to be 39 degrees and southeast winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, it will be very cloudy. Temperatures will be in the high 50s. I mean, in the high 40s, and the wind will be west 8 to 14 miles per hour. As you can see in the morning, it'll stay in the low 40s and it will go up as the day continues. As we get to the afternoon, it will continue to stay there, but there is a possibility for rain after 2 o'clock. On this day in weather history, 82 years ago on this day was Easter Sunday, and it was below freezing. That would be March 24th, 1940. On the air quality report, it says everything is good, though my allergies do beg to differ. It seems like it's little to no risk for those who are high risk. Over the weekend, as you can see, the spotty showers. On Friday, tomorrow, the weather, the temperatures will be 47, the low will be 37. Saturday, the high will be 41, it'll be 30. And on Sunday, that's when we see that possibility of snow, with the high being 31 degrees. As you get into the week, you can see on Monday, there is also a possibility of snow in the early mornings. And as we get into Tuesday, there is the possibility that there are going to be just some clouds. But as we move into Wednesday and Thursday, there are more possibilities of rain, even with the temperature going back up to 50 on Thursday. That's all for my forecast. Back to you guys.
Kanaya, thank you very much. The community in Arabi, Louisiana is starting to rebuild after powerful, deadly tornadoes struck the area Tuesday night. As Aubrey Killian shows us, volunteers are stepping in to help.
Blows me away. We just renovated the east wing.
This is what's left of Linda Catalanato's business. She owns the Old Arabi Marketplace.
Kind of reminds you of Katrina. Furniture's on top of all the glass blew out.
Thousands of antiques are gone. Half of her building is destroyed.
It's just unbelievable. It's more than I can talk about without really just becoming hysterical.
Volunteers have stepped up to help. The damage is incomprehensible.
It's extensive. We have a lot of things that have been saved, but a lot of damage that has been done. And we're just trying to clean up and figure out how we're going to move on.
And here's what one woman found nearby while helping a friend who lost nearly everything.
It's just ironic that Dorothy was sitting right in front of where a tornado hit.
As for Linda, she's trying to stay positive. But to add to this heartbreak, she lost her husband, Sam, just 3 weeks ago today to COVID-19. Linda says Sam is her guardian angel and is going to help her get through this.
I'm mad at him and the Lord right now because I don't know how they could do this. But I don't think he gives you more than you can handle, so I'm going to do it.
Many areas in St. Bernard Parish still do not have power. The lower 9th Ward was struck by Hurricane Katrina 17 years ago.
The Denver Fire Department put out a fire today at the Broncos Stadium. The fire burned on the 3rd level in a construction zone at the Mile High Stadium. Officials say there was an event at the stadium at the time of the fire. This event was taking place on the 2nd level. No one was injured. According to the Denver Fire Department, the cause of the fire is still unknown.
The Biden administration is set to release federal regulation to overhaul the U.S. asylum system. The new rules are set to give asylum officers more authority by allowing them to hear and decide asylum claims. These cases are usually assigned to immigration judges. The administration hopes the move will reduce backlog in immigration courts. According to Syracuse University, there are currently 1.7 million cases pending in immigration court. And coming up, one gas station is giving away up to $1 million away in gas credit.
And Uber adds a new transportation in large cities.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union Building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Major Discussions is the new show that explores the stories of students right here on campus. I personally came here to SUNY Oswego for the broadcasting program because I love to hear people's stories and to do work just like this.
What's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. The pressure's too much. I quit. I get it. I can do better. Just please don't leave.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Let's get into your consumer reports for the night. The number of Americans applying for unemployment last week has fallen to its lowest level since 1969. According to the Labor Department, jobless claims fell by 28,000 to 187,000 for the week of March 19th. The 4-week average for claims, which compensates for weekly volatility, also fell to levels not seen in 5 decades.
Last week, a Chicago businessman held a gas giveaway. Now, an even bigger one is planned for Thursday. Stephanie Wade reports.
I had no idea that it was going to be this big. But when it happened, it just exploded. And I was surprised like everybody else.
Willie Wilson is digging into his pockets once again. The millionaire who's previously given away truckloads of face masks during the pandemic, now planning to donate $1 million worth of gas to help people dealing with the surging gas prices after already shelling out $200,000 last week.
A lot of people didn't get a chance to. They stood in line. And I saw people in tears.
It's free gas. It's up to $50, right? Yes. So the gas is $5 a gallon, so yes, I'll be here.
Bobby Knoll says she'll be here tomorrow at this participating Shell station in Park Forest.
We found out about it Saturday afternoon, so it's kind of been a rush to get things prepared.
Park Forest PD says they'll be directing cars through a residential area to avoid backup on the major thoroughfare after last week caused massive gridlock in Chicago. A few suburban locations have since decided not to participate.
It took the better part of a day to try and figure out the best route that's going to cause the least amount of impact.
The town of Cicero and the Chicago Police Department also working to mitigate traffic issues. Cars can begin lining up at 7 a.m.
Last week we really weren't given much notification. This time around we had a few days extra to kind of plan for this.
Each driver can get up to $50 in free gas. Each station will take as many as 400 vehicles.
Uber has reached an agreement to list all New York City taxis on its app. According to Uber, passengers will pay roughly the same fare for taxi rides as for UberX rides. New York Uber drivers receive a minimum time and distance rate set by the TLC. Cab drivers taking part in the partnership will be paid the same.
And coming up in sports, we have Jacob Bradley.
Jacob, can you give us a quick preview?
I mean, of course I can, guys. Coming up, we take a look at the men's and women's lacrosse games from Wednesday afternoon. We're also going to recap the softball game from this previous afternoon and some big news out of New York City regarding our sports teams. All this and more coming up on WTOP 10 Nightly News.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Major Discussions is the new show that explores the stories of students right here on campus. I personally came here to SUNY Oswego for the broadcasting program because I love to hear people's stories and to do work just like this.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I am your sports reporter for the night, Jacob Bradley, and we're going to start things off on the turf as Laker men's lacrosse hosted the Utica Pioneers Wednesday afternoon. The Lakers were looking to get out of the gates and improve on their 3-3 record on the early season. They were able to do just that as the Lakers won 18-8 in dominating fashion. 3 men on the Lakers team led the charge for them as it was Weston Gray and Ryan Eccles finished with 5 goals apiece, and Gavin Elston finished the afternoon off with 4 goals. The Lakers are now looking forward to a big weekend where they start off SUNYAC Conference play as they play host to the Potsdam Bears. On the other hand, the women's lacrosse team was not as fortunate Wednesday afternoon as they fell short of a big non-conference road victory, losing to the Nazareth Golden Flyers 14-10. However, certainly wasn't one to hang your head on if you're on that team, as there were multiple good performances from Julia Quirk, Sella Wiley, and Isabel Lembo, and it was a step in the right direction for that team that has struggled to start on the year. They need to really break out of the gates. They look ahead now to Saturday afternoon as well, where the Lakers will return home to take on the Fredonia Blue Devils. And now we're going to move on over to the Diamond as the Lakers softball team dropped their non-conference game against RIT this past afternoon, 4-2. It was a pitching matchup between both sides, but the Lakers, they were able to push 2 runs across off the bats of Zoe Menning and Fiona Higgins. Tigers pitcher, however, Crystal Medor absolutely dominated to finish the game. A complete game, 7 innings, strong. 2 strikeouts as well. The Lakers now look on to Saturday morning for a doubleheader against St. John Fisher. And now we move to the news breaking out this afternoon as New York City Mayor Eric Adams has officially announced that he has lifted the mandate against unvaccinated athletes in New York City. This resolves many questions resolving some professional sports teams such as the New York Knicks, New York Mets, the Yankees, the Nets, and whether or not some of their star players would be allowed to play at home. We've seen this previously with Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets. Adams was quoted saying that it wouldn't be fair to punish these athletes differently than everyone else just because they happen to live in New York City. And as for this lift, it is effective immediately. And speaking of those Brooklyn Nets, we now move it over to the NBA as Kyrie Irving and those Brooklyn Nets head to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. And Kyrie Irving doing what he does, putting the defender on skates, hitting the fadeaway mid-range, starting things off strong. We fast forward now, and look at that slam. Oh my goodness. The Anthony Melton puts it home, and then almost on the next play later, we come back now to John Contra with the and one. Memphis, they're running all over Brooklyn, and then we fast forward. Kyrie Irving passes to Kevin Durant. He knocks down the mid-range. Casual 35 for KD, the best player in the world. Then we fast forward, and it's Dylan Brooks with the rainbow, knocks it down, adding to that lead, pushing that lead to 10 for Memphis. Then we fast forward now, and we push to DeAnthony Melton with that big three that breaks the tie. He had 6 three-pointers, finishing with 23, led the team. And then to add it off, we've got the wide open man in the paint, Brandon Clark, slam it home. Absolutely ruffling the feathers of those Brooklyn Nets. They got to use a timeout. They were shook. And guess what? That would be enough to end the game. They were that shook. They lose 132-120. They lose to a John Morantless Memphis Grizzlies. Now they look forward to Saturday where they take on the Miami Heat in Miami, Scott.
All right, so that's coming up on Saturday. We also got a Lakers game coming up on Saturday, right?
We do. We have a lot of Lakers spring sports action. We're going to see the softball team in action for a doubleheader. We're also going to see a little bit later on some lacrosse from both the men's and the women's. It's certainly going to be a big weekend down at the Turf for a lot of for Lakers fans.
So we're going to be at the Turf. How's the weather going to look on the Turf?
I know not everyone's happy about the 4 inches that we might be getting on Sunday, but I'm not that mad about it. I'm a little bit looking forward to the snow. I don't mind. I missed it a little bit.
I'm over it. I'm not going to lie. I'm over it. I'm ready for the spring weather. I'm ready to get the shorts and T-shirts back on.
You're going to be waiting a long time.
Oh, God. With Oswego, New York, I think we're going to be waiting
You're going to wait a long time.
We had that one nice week at spring break where we had sun. Exactly.
It was a little tease.
How was your spring breaks?
It was very good.
Oh, well, I like to see towards the end of the week, you see the temperatures start rising again. So hopefully that means we get back into the 50s and the 60s. I really enjoyed not having to wear the giant winter jacket outside, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of hope.
All right, I can't wait for that warm weather. That is our report for tonight. Please be sure to stay tuned for OX5.
Thank you for watching and have a great night, everyone.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups for
half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.